Imagine if you could help get rid of migraines naturally. Here are my 9 tips for migraines and headaches, and number 9 gives you instant relief. Okay, tip number 1 is to avoid ALAN. Artificial light at night. So what does this mean? This means that any type of light that is on after the sun has set, usually that's going to be an artificial light, that can have negative effects on your circadian biology and your circadian rhythms. And that can really trigger, especially because they tend to be higher in that blue wavelength on the spectrum of the light, and that blue wavelength of light can actually trigger a headache. It's actually telling your brain and your nervous system that it's the middle of the day when actually it should be dark, and this is going to offset your circadian biology, increases your inflammation, and makes you more prone to those migraine headaches. So one of the things that you can do if you do have lights on, which most of us do after dark, is to wear your blue light blocking glasses. That's going to help to minimize that blue spectrum of light coming into your eyes and keeping you awake and potentially triggering those migraines. Okay, tip number 2 for migraines is to get natural sunlight into your eyes. And this is really important to start your circadian biology for the day, to see that early morning light. So especially when the sun is rising, that's when those frequencies of that full spectrum light are the most healing for your body. Also helps with your melatonin production for later at night for sleep. This is also really important for your nervous system and of course your brain to signal that the day has begun, and it's very anti-inflammatory as well. Okay, tip number 3 for migraines is to ensure you're getting enough vitamin D. We have vitamin D receptors in the brain and in most of our cells in our entire body. And when we're vitamin D deficient, this can really set off that inflammatory response. It affects blood flow as well. So definitely something that we want to consider is getting enough of that natural sunlight exposure to actually make our own vitamin D. So optimizing that vitamin D naturally is something you always want to do. If you are going to supplement, make sure that it's a vitamin D3 in an absorbable form to make sure that your body is utilizing it properly. Okay, tip number 4 for migraines is to do grounding. Especially first thing in the morning would be fantastic, whether that's on the beach, on the grass, on the earth, out in your garden. Just taking off your socks and shoes, pulling up the earth's electrons, which of course is going to counteract a lot of the positive charge that we tend to hold on to, which is pro-inflammatory. Those negative electrons will help to dissipate that charge and have an anti-inflammatory effect. Okay, tip number 5 is to balance your blood glucose levels. We know that when blood sugar is all over the map, whether it's the carbohydrates, the processed foods, maybe not eating enough and on time, the low blood sugar as well, this can really trigger that migraine headache and other chronic headaches as well. So making sure that you're finding that balance for your blood glucose levels. This is usually going to be dietary changes, and more sunlight exposure can help to balance your blood sugar as well. Really, really important tips for those migraines. Okay, tip number 6 is to consider doing a full body detox. And I love a combination of different herbal medicines to be able to do that. And this is really important because that is going to help to make your internal organs more efficient at getting rid of those toxins that we're all exposed to. So something that you can consider doing. I like to do it 4 times a year personally, but doing that full body detox can really go a long way, especially if you're a chronic migraine sufferer. Okay, tip number 7 is to balance your electrolytes, making sure that you're getting enough of the big important minerals. Magnesium is a huge one, and if you are a migraine sufferer, it's something that I really want you to pay attention to is your magnesium potentially deficiency. And I don't believe that we get enough magnesium in our food any longer because of our soils and over farming. Use of different herbicides like glyphosate. So it's something that we definitely want to make sure that we're optimizing our magnesium levels. And I know that there's a lot of different types of magnesium out there to take. I prefer a magnesium bisglycinate, especially for chronic headache sufferers because it tends to help with blood glucose levels. It also helps as a muscle relaxant, helps to ensure that we're protecting against EMF exposure, which can be related to chronic migraines as well. So just finding a good one that doesn't have magnesium stearate in it is something that you can definitely look for. And tip number 8 is to ensure you're getting enough of your omega-3 fatty acids. That DHA is so important as a natural anti-inflammatory. Of course, it's naturally found in seafood. So if you're eating a lot of seafood, you're getting that DHA. but also in a good high quality fish oil supplement that may be something that you want to add into your daily diet so that you're ensuring that you're getting those anti-inflammatory properties from the DHA. Plus, this controls your electrical signaling in your body, in your nervous system, in your brain as well, which is really important for those migraines. And tip number 9, the one that you've probably been waiting for that instantaneous relief. And I'm telling you, if you at the first inkling, that first thought that, oh, I might be getting a headache or a migraine, I want you to use a combination. Now, it's great to use just peppermint essential oil. You can find a different combo that is amazing in terms of helping with abating that headache. And you're just going to find the tender spots on your head. It could be in the back of your neck as well, on your trapezius muscles. Just find those tender spots and use those essential oils right in those spots. You're going to feel it kick in about 2 minutes later. So just make sure you don't, if you have it on your fingers, you're not getting it in your eyes, because I've done that before. It's super painful and you're not going to be happy. But that peppermint essential oil is amazing. It has a cooling effect. It's going to kick in a couple minutes after you've put it on. Amazing for that migraine relief. Oftentimes you won't even get that headache because you followed just that one tip. Now, I do want you to follow all of my tips. Let me know how it goes in the comments, but also check out this other video that I've got, the most disturbing signs of magnesium deficiency, which are so common. I'll see you there.